when your Twitter started going off in 2020, we're all in the pandemic, and I start getting these like text messages. Like my friend Ryan hits me up and he's like, dude, have you been going on the Eve 6 Instagram? And I'm like, what? So I like go on there, and I mean, it's like some of the funniest shit I've ever read in my whole life. And I swear to God, I know this sounds like nuts, but your Instagram or your Twitter really kept me like going in a lot of ways. And it was like just like a nice comic relief. So like, what was it that where you were just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna say everything that's going through my mind and just put it all out there?
Yeah. Thank you. I'm glad you were entertained by it. It does feel good that, and that's the goal, to, have people get a kick out of it as opposed to have it drive them crazy, which is also the effect it has on some. But and I understand that too.
But at least it's hitting something within them.
Yeah, yeah. I think it came about partly through conversations that I was having with a friend of mine who, this is actually someone that I met on Twitter around the time of my mom's passing in 2018, 19.
Mm-hmm.
And this person had also just lost someone close to them. And we just kind of had this sort of deep kind of friendship started, And they thought that the way that I talked about my band when I did was very amusing,
Mm-hmm.
And it just sort of got me thinking maybe along those lines a little bit. And I remember waking up one morning and it just occurred to me. It's like this had never occurred to me before, which is weird, but like that I was a virgin when I wrote the Heart in a Blender song, at least the first, because it was written in a few different iterations, So like I lost my virginity at 18. I wrote that song, most of that song, when I was 17 years old. And so that occurred to me. I thought, wow, that's really funny, that this is true.
Yeah. I mean, that's so young to write that song.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was also like, it was because you were heartbroken, right?
Mm-hmm.
You had a girlfriend that cheated on you at that time.
Yeah.
And, I mean, but lyrically, I think it's a fucking great song. Like, I will never forget the first time I heard that song, and I was hooked, and I would hear it on the radio all the time. It crossed over into top 40. I mean, it's a huge anthemic song.
Yeah, totally.
We still play it all the time.
Totally.
Like,
and yeah, it's funny because we just did a tour and we did one of those like sound check party things at the shows where like people could come and see the sound check and ask questions and stuff. And a few people would ask, like, do you hate your own music? Like, I follow you on Twitter, and it seems like you're always taking the piss out of yourself. And, like, no, I don't. I think I appraise it pretty holistically, Well,
you're just, like, being sarcastic, and it's, like, I mean, it's funny because you were 17, so you're worlds away from when that happened.
Completely.
That's what people know you by.
Yeah. Yeah, which is a strange thing.
Yeah.
That's a strange thing. Yeah, I'm not, I'm still proud of, that song and other Eve 6 songs. I also, I think, view them objectively and within a certain context. So like, I can also appreciate the fact that there are lyrics in them that are pretty funny, which are probably, that weren't intended to be funny, but they're funny to me now. But that's probably also a lot of the reason why that song in particular reacted the way it did. So I don't know. There's a lot of stuff there to sort of look at. I love thinking about me.
Well, you're so like, I feel like you're so fearless in your approach to Twitter in a way that I feel like I don't know if I could ever be, Like, you just lay it all out there It's almost like I've got nothing to lose type of attitude.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that because the thought attendant to, I don't think I was thinking about this when I pushed that first tweet out that, I didn't know that it would go viral or anything like that. But
so that's the I think we're going to be huge again. Was that the first tweet?
No, you know what? I'm pretty sure we're going to be huge again. No, I think that came after.
Okay.
Do
you remember the first tweet?
No, it didn't. You're
Okay.
right. I'm pretty sure we're going to be huge again. I did before.
Okay.
The other one, which makes it even funnier because we didn't have a lot of followers or anything. This was yeah.
I know your Twitter exploded.
Yeah.
It's been insane. And then you have people like Marianne Williamson. What did she call you?
Miracle Max.
Miracle Max.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty surreal. The internet is a surreal place.
It is. Who's the biggest trip out that has corresponded with you on Twitter or retweeted you?
Oh man. The Marianne Williamson thing is very trippy because she was a big part of my early sobriety.
Mm-hmm.
I would go every Wednesday night. I always forget the name of the theater, but it's on La Brea and Melrose. And I would go alone because all my friends thought I was insane, for doing this book called The Course in Miracles, which she didn't write, but she does kind of source from it. And I think a lot of her spiritual psychology thing, I know a lot of it comes from that book. And a sponsor of mine got me into that book, and I got way into that book. And there's a lot of language in that book that's pretty polarizing. And so, yeah, I didn't have again, my friends thought I was crazy for getting into this stuff, but it really resonated with me. And I would go.
It's very in line with if you're in recovery.
Yeah.
I think it's right up the alley,
I
My
think so
mom
too.
is super into it. She's super into the Course in Love or something like that. There's one that came after the Course in Miracles.
Is that did Marianne Williamson write that?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Course in Miracles was written by this woman named Helen something. She was a professor of medical psychology at Columbia.
Okay.
An atheist, apparently a very unpleasant person to be around. The story goes, sort of took it down as if it was being dictated to her. Never sought any limelight stuff or anything. Never hawked it. Nothing, and I'm pretty sure all of the profits from it went back into I don't know, course affiliated stuff to get it out to people. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that contradiction about her, the woman who wrote this thing.
Yeah.
So I would go listen to Marianne speak every Wednesday night for an hour and a half. And then I forget what our first Twitter interaction was. I think I was kind of flirting with her on Twitter, and then she kind of was playing along a little bit. But then when I wrote that first column, I sent it to her, and she read it, and she was like, "This is really good," And I sent her the second one, and she was like, "This is better." And we talked about it and stuff, and that was crazy.
Yeah.
Other crazy ones. I mean, Patton Oswalt and I have had this ongoing
feud
thing.
Yeah.
Ongoing feud for 6 or 8 months or something now. Kyle MacLachlan, who played Agent Cooper in Twin Peaks.
Oh, whoa.
That one was crazy.
Yeah.
I did a tweet. I didn't even tag him. I just said, "I once was Agent Cooper, now I'm Bob." And he quote tweeted that and said, "It's a journey." That was a crazy one. Oh, yeah.
Thanks for watching. For more 7 Words Podcast, be sure to subscribe, and leave a comment.